How's it going, everybody? Today, I thought I would kind of name off the top 5 questions that I get asked uh, with my electric car. All right, so the and this is going to go from number 5 all the way down to the most asked question, number 1. All right, so number 5 would be, can you drive it on the highway? All right. Well, believe it or not, I get this question asked quite a bit. All right. And I say, yes, I can drive it on the highway. It's no big deal. This thing can more than perform at the level of an internal combustion engine. Um, it's just that people have a hard time wrapping their heads around the idea that something with an electric motor the size of a football uh, can, be able to move the car at speeds greater than 20 miles an hour. But this thing can do, electronically, it's limited at 90. Okay, but it could do much greater. With a larger motor, an electric motor, it could probably do way better than that. I mean, 150, easy. Um, well, maybe not 150, but anyway. But I get that question asked a lot. All right, so number 4 would be, do you have a special charger that you've got to charge it with? Or can you just charge with anything? So then what I do is I kind of break down, in summary, to them, the different types of charging. I explain that there's level 1, 2, and 3. All right. So I talk about what these are. I say that level 1 is 120, 110 volt domestic household US charge. Okay, that's like a cell phone would plug into. That's level 1. Level 2 is 220, 240 at 30 amps, 40 amps. That is more going to be your public charging station. That, would be like at the dealership around where I'm at, or an on-street charger that you can, plug, you would find on PlugShare. Uh, Something like that. And I explain to them, how all that works, but of course, it's always in a nutshell, so I don't overwhelm them. And then I say, lastly, the third level of charging, level 3, is a 480 volt, 30-minute quick charge. And that's usually only found at dealerships, such as a Nissan dealer, or perhaps a car park of a grocery store that might have it, or something like that. It's going to always be a public place, usually. All right, so I explain all this to them, and their eyes kind of open up a little bit. It's pretty interesting. But the third question I get asked is, how long does it take to charge? Now, this is an emphasized question. They really want to know. A lot of people want to know this question, because to them, this is a big deal. All right, so I tell them, usually what I like to say is it only takes a second. All right, because that's what I heard people jokingly say that before, but I always like that one. No, it takes a second to plug it in, but I tell them about 24 hours to get a 0 to 100% full battery charge on this Nissan Leaf, 24 kilowatt hour. All right. But the thing is, I tell them, I never go beyond 50% in a day. So you really can get by with 12 hours. And of course, I always mention that this is at 110, 120 volt domestic outlet, So I tell them that too. I tell them that and I kind of loop back to the charging, the different levels of charging. I tell them that at 240, it would only take you about 4 to 6 hours. But, I tell them, then I kind of throw in at the end, the 480 30-minute quick charge, at 80 amps, that level 3 can get it done at 30 minutes. So I kind of have to refresh on that, because they just get hung up on this 24 hours. Whoa. And I tell them, no, that's just at the 110, 120, 13 amps, So then they kind of understand that a little bit more, all right? But then they might say, well, wait a minute, it still uses gas, right? You still got the gas backup, right? And I say, no gas. This is beyond petroleum here. This does not use a gas. It's not gas. It's not like a hybrid, like the Prius, because they're thinking the Prius. They're thinking, they're still on the level of hybrid, especially here in the Midwest United States where I'm at here. So they kind of slip in a side question of, well, does it use oil then? It doesn't use oil at all? And I say, no oil changes. All right, so that's the big bullet point on that. No gas, no oil. All right, now the final question, the tip-top question that I get asked, at least that I get asked anyway, is how many miles can you drive on this thing, in this car? That's their big thing. I think that's going to be the biggest thing going forward with electric cars, is the range. And that's going to be emphasized, I think, nowadays with like the Chevy Bolt, which gets 238 US EPA miles. This car only gets the 84 miles. Like I said, so, but the new generation, the second generation of modern electric cars, they're getting upwards of 200 and up. So the Bolt gets 238, and I try to tell them, this car getting the 84 miles, it can meet your needs, your daily needs. I only drive about 40 to 45, and the U.S. government has stated publicly that the average consumer would only drive 40 miles a day. And that's pretty much true. I found that. On the rare occasions that I need to venture outside the city or can't get to a charger, it might become a sticky point. But overall, that's my main question. The tip-top question is, how many miles can you drive on this thing? But I should note, though, that the modern generation Nissan Leaf, the 2016, I think it is, starting with, in the 2017, I think they're up to 109 miles per charge. So that's using the same form factor as this Leaf that I have here. So I could potentially, if I were to have kept this after the lease, I could upgrade the pack and get even greater range and energy density. But of course, I'm going to be done at the end of my lease. But I just thought I would explain a little bit the top questions that I'm asked. And maybe if you guys might be watching this, you might have those questions too. I hope I helped out a lot of people today, or at least kind of give a little bit of insight. Thanks for watching. Please like, share, and subscribe. And I'll be sure to be bringing more videos along here and giving my insight on what it's been like to own this electric car. Alright, thanks a lot. Bye.